So today's project is this generator. I've been wanting a generator for a while, and the other day while helping my neighbor, I was telling him about I was looking to get one, and he said, hey, I got one that's been sitting in my garage for several years. Do you want it? Free? Absolutely. But of course, free means a catch. He says it doesn't run and it's missing parts. Great. So I took a look at it. So this is a Powerback GT5250, and the story behind it is that it was his father's. His father used it for many years to power his shop, kept it well maintained, and this thing is in pretty good condition. A lot of the dust and grime is just because it's been sitting in that garage for several years. But his dad used it to power his shed or garage or whatever it was, but he used it to power it up so he can, work in there and do everything that he needed to do. And one day it was acting up and surging, consistent with, a fuel issue or anything like that. So he took the carburetor off and started cleaning on it. Well, later on that night, and according to my neighbor, his dad went inside, sat in his chair, and unfortunately, he never woke up and he passed. So my neighbor picked this up. He's had this in this garage for several years. I think he said probably about 6 or 7 years, and he don't want to deal with it no more. So he gave me this box, and well, it doesn't have everything that I need. So we do have the carburetor, which is good, but I think we're missing the spring and the seat and anything else. We don't have the nuts or bolts. We don't have the housing for the air filter, and all we're left with is this. So like I said, it's not in bad condition. It's actually pretty decent as far as cleanliness, but we're definitely going to take this out to the driveway and clean it up. But I figured, considering it was free, why not? But I got on eBay, started looking for those parts, and unobtainium. Definitely no bueno. Fortunately, I got on the Facebook Marketplace and just typed in Powerback GT5250, and I found one listed an hour away from me for 60 bucks. I offered 40, and I went and picked it up. So with this other generator, I should have all the parts that I need to get that fixed. Well, you're probably saying, why not just run the other generator? Well, let me show you it. Here it is. And as you can see, she's rough. I mean, they tried to do the whole, Craigslist rebuild with the whole spray paint and make it look nice, but I don't think that worked. A bit of corrosion. I mean, nothing too bad or crazy, but yeah, you could tell they were trying to piece this mill together. But the good thing is that it has the carburetor. It had all the pieces that I'll need, so I could take that out, put that into the other carburetor, run it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and we should be good. Has the housing for the air filter, the bolts and nuts that I'm missing for it. So we should be okay. I try to put a little isolator there with some hoses, so that's kind of cool. Not sure why this is long. They probably just, did it like that. Okay. All right. And as far as the fuel, doesn't smell bad. It has some. Let's get a flashlight in here. Guess the guy kept all the fuel before he gave it to me, or it hasn't ran in a while. So the tank doesn't actually look that bad. In fact, that one looks worse than this one. So we'll take a look at that later. But yeah, gotta love the spray paint. Now I did ask the guy about this thing's running condition, and he says it does run. He says, but it doesn't run good. Which, okay. Most times with these types of machines, clean up the carburetor, maybe a rebuild. Most times you don't even need a rebuild kit. You can just clean things up in ultrasonic cleaner, and they just come back to life. So the plan is, first things first, this thing is dirty, that thing is dirty. I'm gonna roll them out to the driveway and clean them up. I don't like working on dirt and a mess. And then we'll go ahead, try to fire this one up, test to see if it does start, does it produce power, and if all that works, then cannibalize it and try to make this one working, because this one looks a lot better. So it's actually been a couple hours later. It is a hot day, and I've made sure this thing is dried out completely. I did open these covers up, make sure that there's no water or anything like that. So I'm confident that we're good with this. If you're gonna clean this thing, make sure you dry it out. Like I said, a couple hours, opened this up, checked everything out. Just had a little bit of pooling right over here, and then when I blew some air into it, nothing came out. So we're good with that. Now, this is the time where it's a great idea to test the coils and the capacitor, but unfortunately, my leads on my ohm meter are broken. So yeah, that sucks. But at least this is easy to get to. It's like 2 T20 or T15 bolts over here, and it comes right out. So I don't see no obvious signs that this thing is bad. We'll run it, and we'll just kind of take it from there. Check this one, and this one is rough. When I pulled this one open, I mean, it just has so much junk in here. So this compressor most likely sat outside most of its whole life. But just like the other one, opened it up, made sure there was no water, just a little moisture that sat right over here, wiped that up, blew everything out. I've checked, and we're looking good. So this thing has dried up. So what I'm gonna do now is put that cover back together, probably squirt a little go juice on there. I'm not gonna run fuel, and see if this thing just fires up. If it even fires up for a second, I should be able to get power to that. If we get power, this engine fires up, then I know that I have a good parts machine. But if this thing doesn't want to fire and I'm not getting power, then we'll end up scrapping it and just take the parts that we need. So let's start there. The thing has a strong odor of fuel. It's also pretty oily. Motor might be junk. I guess let's see if it has compression. Yes, it does. Let's give it a squirt. Spark tester. If I could get it in a position, that'd be ideal. Could remove the fuel tank. Nah, don't want to do that. It's kind of hard to see where I'm at. That's a good thing about recording. Just review footage. Let me take a look at it. So this is the allegedly nicer machine. Let's check for spark on this one. I don't think I'm getting spark on that. Looking at the footage, I didn't see anything. So at least this one has the boot. And with that one sitting outside and as abused as it is, there is a slight chance that that thing is done for. So let's check to see if we got spark here. So taking a look at the footage, I do have spark, so that's good. Looked at the footage again and even messed with it off camera. I have no spark here. It could be something as simple as sanding the contacts. It might be just a bad coil, but I mean, this thing is rough. And if I'm being honest with you, I really don't want to mess with it too much. I think what I'm going to do now is just strip the parts I need. I'm going to take the carburetor, the bolts. I think there's a bracket or two I might need. I am going to take the fuel tank because I think this one is varnished up really good. So I think that's the plan. I'll probably list this up on the Facebook Marketplace. There's a ton of people where I live that pretty much will buy the generator and the engine and buy something like this for parts. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I probably could get 40 bucks for it and recoup my money. So that sounds like a plan. And just take what I need. So now, unfortunately, it looks like yeah, the bolts are aftermarket, not original. And I have no idea how they got some of this stuff in there, but let's get that out. That one's tight. Okay. Looks like we can reuse the gasket. Save $1. That's pretty easy, not bad. They use like a thicker screwdriver. I think they used the Phillips, yep. And that's how they did it. Ooh, I need to save this gasket. Need to save the gasket. Mostly because I'm cheap. And it's just for testing. Once everything works, then we'll put nicer gaskets. But then again, this is a homemade gasket. So probably the same thing I'll have to do now. See how easy these come out. Oh yeah. It's like it wasn't meant to be. So now one advantage, this actually looks pretty good. The one on my tank, I think the rubber's rotted. This rubber feels decent. So I could probably use this. And it's kind of weird that they did a double shut-off valve. Okay. So I'm done with this. I'm just gonna roll it out back. Alright, so this is my favorite thing to do. It is, I kind of enjoy it. But we need to take apart this carburetor. This filter is better than the other one, so we're going to run this filter until, well, I got a better one. This is the original bowl. There's the hardware. Alright. Jeez. Tighten that one up pretty good. Be careful with these gaskets. Now I will get new gaskets and all that type of stuff, but I gotta make sure this thing works before I spend any more money. I mean, $40 for that was not bad for that generator. I mean, these still feel pretty pliable, so Maybe we won't need them. A little bit of junk. Now let's take this apart. Slide it pretty easy. And this. And I think that's all I'm going to do with this one. Maybe I'll throw it in the soup, but we'll see. Now this one is the one I plan on using because it looks a lot nicer. If I could get this off, holy bananas. Maybe I'll be able to use it. What'd they do? Put Loctite on this? Wow. I think that is Loctite. So far everything blows pretty easy, so I think we should be good. This feels good, this feels good, so let's go ahead and make some soup. Ultrasonic cleaner time. This thing is fantastic for cleaning this stuff, and I wish I had a bigger one. If I had a bigger one, it's a lot easier, but it gets the job done. I'm just throwing all the googly bits in there. That too. Yep. Throw that in there. Sure. Put that part in there. These floats. Which, the good news is, they float. I think we're just going to have to... There we go. Hold it down that way. Let's throw that in there. Let's throw that in there. Pretty sure I can't get this one in there. I might. You know, I might be able to get this second carburetor in here. Alright, let's set the timer. And let's go for it. Soup's looking good. We'll see more of that in a second. So, developments. And I guess this is why I'm glad I had that whole machine with all these parts. So, went to change out some of the fuel lines, kind of clean things up a little bit, and discovered this thing leaks. Can I find it? It definitely found me. All over the place. There it is. Can we? Right there. Yeah, that's a crack. So this tank is junk. This one from the sketching machine that I paid $40 for is perfectly good. Went ahead and cleaned it out off camera, and surprisingly, not a lot of junk came out of it. So that's pretty good. I do need to stock up. I am going to reuse this filter just for now. The whole point of this is that I want to get this started. I've already ran fuel through it. It is coming out clean, so something is better than nothing. And that other one, wherever that filter is, I put fuel through that one. That one is pretty much plugged and junk, so we're not going to be doing that. Kind of unfortunate. I mean, I do like the stickers on the tank. Maybe I could transfer them over, but it is what it is. I did find some extra hoses, and this is why I keep things lying around. And this one has that bend that I'll need. So I think we should be good there. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at, and a little bummed about it, but it's okay. On other news, this bowl gasket is disintegrating, so that's great. So yeah, at this point the name of the game is fire it up, see if it gives me power. Nice and toasty. Now I know in the last clip I said we're going to run it for 20. I actually wound up running it for an hour while I was working on that fuel tank. But man, this stuff is looking good. And this is the one from the sketchy machine, so put that to the side. So a rebuild kit is definitely going to be in the future for this carburetor. I took this out, and this was plugged up in there despite the ultrasonic cleaner's best efforts. And this little O-ring, she's holding on. She's holding on. But put a little silicone paste on it to slide it in, and hopefully that should work. We'll see. And you see it sticking up right over here. I just used a screwdriver to push this one down. I'm just gonna pop it in just like so. Yep, not force anything. I took out this one, and this carburetor is a lot different. It looks like this one also had an O-ring right over there at one point. And if you ever have one of these that are getting stuck, just lightly thread in a screw. You can pull it out. That worked for this. So I don't think this unit was ever going to really run. But we have an extra carburetor, and the differences are, well, it's mostly in the choke mechanism. That's about it. I know this one is the original one that came with it. Primarily the patina matches, and it has the numbers right over here. This is a, ooh, I can't see it, 5200, L as in Larry, 9, M as in Mary. And yeah, this one's different. Definitely keep that in mind. All right, pretty good. That seals. That's one victory. All right, so this thing is put back together. Everything's good. Double check the float to make sure that it seals like it's supposed to. So I think we're in business. As far as this gasket, we'll see. But like I said, we're gonna need a kit anyways. Gonna reuse this gasket that they made because that's all I got. So let's get this on the generator and try to fire her up. All right. Let's throw some fuel in. Well, that sucks. So, can't seem to make the carburetor work without the gaskets, which to be expected. Sometimes you get lucky and you can reuse that stuff temporarily until you're able to get one. So I think what we're just gonna do is just spray a little go juice on it, see if it fires over, and if we get some light, because then that would tell me that the engine's good, mostly, and potentially the generator's good, and then I would feel comfortable ordering the carburetor kit. So let's try that. So the motor fires up. Once we fix the carburetor, that'll work. The light didn't turn on. I don't know if it needs to run a little bit more just to get going. So I think that's where I'm gonna end this. So it's 2 weeks later and I went ahead and got this thing running. I'll go ahead and post a clip of it running. And the only reason why it's bogging and dying out is because I'm running the tank empty, just getting all the fuel out of this. So it runs pretty good, gets the job done, lights up the lights. But this thing is a little loud, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it Not a huge fan of it. I'm not sure, so I might put some feelers out there and see how much I could get for it. I've seen a couple of these in running condition go for about 200. I sold the other one, the old one, for $60 for parts. So I did get my money back on that. So there is profit to be made on that. That's what I might do, and then probably put that money towards a better one that I might like. So the way I got it fixed, I actually went both ways. The Amazon cheap Chinese one, I did buy that. That did not work well, and I'll show you that in just a sec. So I went ahead and got the rebuild kit from my local small engine repair shop. It was like $20. Popped in all the gaskets, fired right up, no issues. Still have to use these bolts, but it works. I did get a new gasket for it. I did find a wing nut right over there, so she's good to go. Fresh oil, and yeah, pretty happy with it so far. So now, as far as the cheap Chinesium one, yeah, this thing just jumped. I popped it in, and when I popped it in, this thing was backfiring like crazy. I tried adjusting it and tuning it. It just did not work right. It claims to be the one that's supposed to work for it, but this did not line up, so I did swap these over, and I probably spent more time than I needed to doing that. They give you these clear fuel hoses and complete junk for, I think it was $20. $20 was better just to rebuild the original one. So that's usually what I try to do, but in this case, I guess I was just trying to cut corners or just work fast. But recommendation, always get the original rebuild kits. Try to use the original carburetor, just from my experiences, especially with other small engine stuff. The originals, they're great. If you find one, don't trash it. Most of the times, a quick rebuild kit will bring it back together. So just wanted to post this. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's go try to fix something else.